imagine that boo-boo cost Jim Haslam about $1 million. And I'll call him in the morning, and we'll get started. It'll be undesignated funds, but we'll put them on the pianos. I want to tell you a couple little stories and somewhat of our involvement. I came to the University of Tennessee back in 1955. That was when tuition was $16 a quarter. So some of you who are paying, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, something like that. I got my ag teacher. Somebody said a voc tech teacher a while ago, but I had an ag teacher who thought I should go to college, and I had no opportunity to go. So he applied for a scholarship, and I got a Sears Roebuck scholarship. So all my appliances at Sears and all that kind of stuff. It was $200, and Sandy and I have talked about no matter how much we share with what we've been able to accumulate, we will never pay that $200 scholarship off. Never pay it off. Because we wouldn't be here today if Mr. Horn, that's my ag teacher, hadn't saw forth to try to get me a scholarship. So scholarships are one thing. But I would like to tell you a couple of little stories about our involvement in East Tennessee State. East Tennessee State has a music department, but like most schools, the music department is way down the list. You understand? Okay. So we're going to work on that. We get Jim to help us a little bit more on the music, and through the business we get it equalized. Okay? I always say the music kids go to school to learn to play after the day job. And so much of that is true. A few make it and a few don't make it in their daily job, but they have something that we don't have. They can play music, they can make you smile, they can make the day feel better for you. And so Sandy and I got to know a professor at East Tennessee State. His name is Tom, and he had a group of kids called the 10 bucks worth, other names. But that was in about 1980, and we got involved with him and supporting them. And then it came down to, we were able to get a company to give us an old used 9-footer, and that was in the early 80s. And so it was so bad that the tuner said, we can't do anything with it, you have to get it rebuilt. So we sent it back to the guy who gave it to us and said, you got to rebuild it and send it back. Well, he got mad at me, and I said, well, we're not going to take it like it is. You got it, you sure? So anyway, Jim McLaughlin, who that was, so he paid $27,000 in 1981, I think, to get it rebuilt. We paid $63,000 a couple of years ago for a couple. You're going to pay probably $75,000, so you can see what happens in that length of time. Anyway, one of the piano professors came to Sandy one night and said, do you think you and Jim would be interested in helping me raise enough money to buy a 9-footer? We got one, but it's an old one, and you guys know the history of it, and so we need to do something about that. So she comes home, and we start talking about it, and so I said, well, how much are we talking about? So first thing led to another. We got on the internet, found the telephone number for a Steinway guy, called him, he answered the phone. He was in Dallas, I believe, on his way to Nashville. Well, that started the deal of ending up with $1.3 million at East Tennessee State and 33 pianos. So, tell you another little story about, we were at one of our recitals, and so this friend of Sandy's, it's a boy at the university, had a lady with him. And I said to her, I said, are you a student here? And she said, yes, I'm a student. Why did you come here? Because of the pianos. Are you a piano major? No. Well, why would you come? If you got Steinway pianos, the music department has to be good. So, it's a standard of that. Okay? And so, I think I could back up a little bit. When Roger Stevens and I became the chair of the Development Council, some of the people took me over to introduce myself to him. And so during the conversation, we got to talking about what is your product because I was wanting him to say the kids. And before we got through, that's what he said. The whole product of our school is our students. And and you see today what the product is. So with an investment in these pianos, we will have more and more of these type of students come to the University of Tennessee. And they'll be able to perform and go on and make a name for themselves and for the University of Tennessee. And maybe they'll be like my scholarship. He's got a scholarship. He'll repay that scholarship many times in his lifetime. But I've enjoyed my relationship with the University of Tennessee, and I think it should go on further and further and further. And I'm looking forward to when you will become an All-Steinway School, and that you'll be one of several now in Tennessee. Martin has just announced that they are making theirs, but they need to buy one more 9-footer. I told them the other day, you can't start announcing that until you get one more 9-footer. So they can do 2 9-footers on the stage. They only have one. So I said, by the time you get halfway through the football season, you should find another 9-footer. So now there'll be an All-Steinway School with 2 9-footers. So it's my pleasure to be a part of this, and I look forward to working with Mr. Haslam to get this money to help his wife's cause out. What a crew, what a crew. I mean, and on top of that, he knows the governor, so I think we can make some phone calls, say, and we call him Daddy Haslam, and we call Jimmy Jimmy. So this is Daddy Haslam, and so we'll hope that Mr. Daddy Haslam gets busy on the phone, and we're going to raise this money. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be a part of it. Thank you.
Since we're telling stories, I have to tell a story that I told a few minutes ago, and that was several months ago, my administrative assistant got a call from the Steinway dealership in Nashville, and they said, we want to come see the Chancellor. And I said, I don't really need to see Steinway people. I don't know much about music, and that isn't my expertise area. And they said, well, and then she said, Jim Powell said you needed to see them, and Wayman Hickman said you needed to see them. And I said, if Jim and Wayman said I needed to see them, I'm delighted to see them. You see how persuasive Jim is, and Natalie, well, Wayman Hickman's the same way. And so when they send somebody to see you, want to make sure you respond. This afternoon, I think we've seen examples of the students at the University of Tennessee. They are phenomenal. And our students deserve the very best. And with our new building, we're going to have the very best. And we're looking forward to the completion of that building and the dedication of that building. We've had the groundbreaking. And William said the quality of instruction is magnificent. And so we got the building in place and we got the students in place. The quality of instruction is magnificent. That means the faculty are in place. And what we need is the instruments in place. And that's what this is all about today. Coming all the way from Maryland to choose the University of Tennessee tells you a lot about our music program at the University of Tennessee. There's a lot of good places to study. That's probably closer than Tennessee to Maryland. But it's the quality of our faculty, it's the excellence that we do. And I think the statement was made, this is a very ambitious goal to be an All-Steinway School with 62 pianos, but it's a doable challenge. And we invite you to be part of that challenge and help us reach our goal to provide the very best instruments for our students when we open the Natalie L. Haslam Music Center with All-Steinway pianos. We thank you for being here. We hope you'll support our effort. And Natalie and Jim and Sandy and Jim, we greatly appreciate what you're doing to lead this effort. And thank you very much for bringing this to our attention. Thank you very much for saying this is a goal that we will set. And I don't know anybody in this room that doesn't believe that we can accomplish the goals that we set for ourselves. So thank you very much for being here. We do have a reception out here. Thank you, and go Vols.